Hi guys, I'm Jiaoying Summers. Welcome back to Tiger MILF Podcast. When I first time I met you, I didn't get to talk to you. I think it was at Asian Society. And I remembered your energy that I felt empowered by you, your energy. And I also know how hard it was for you to make Warrior. It took you a decade, right? When you you know that was he wrote something? Did you know it when you were young, or you discovered it later?
You know, I always knew the story. So my father created the treatment, the story idea for the show Warrior that is now on Netflix and Max. Back in the 60s. I mean, we would
ahead of his time.
Oh yeah, and we would joke. We were like, "Oh, it's a 50-year development period," because season 1 debuted in 2019. He was working on it like in 1969-ish and before. So that's 50 years. It's 50 years,
half a century in the making.
Yeah,
and his daughter made it happen.
Yes, with help from many, many people. But, I really have to. So it's a story I always knew about. I always knew my father had created a TV show that he pitched that they said that he couldn't be in. And, they also considered him for Kung Fu, the TV show Kung Fu, that they ended up casting a white person to play a Chinese person. And because they told my father that he couldn't star in a TV show because he was Chinese.
Yeah.
And so he didn't. And in a way, I'm glad, because he went on to do something much bigger, right? But this idea stayed in our family archive for years and years. And then when I took over in 2000 to look after my father's legacy, I had always heard about it, but as I was going through all the materials, I found it and I was like, oh, here it is. But I mean, at this point, I hadn't produced anything. There were many other things I needed to focus on. But over time, I got to know Justin Lin, like we had run into each other here and there. And he called me up one day and he said, "Hey, I always heard the story that your dad created a TV show. Is that true?" And I said, "Yeah, it is actually." And he said, "You wouldn't happen to have it, would you?" "Yeah, I have it right here in this box."
He wrote it?
He wrote it.
Oh my goodness.
We had many typed and handwritten notes and things. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And so because of Justin Lin and who Justin Lin is, and he had a production company and everything, we partnered with him and we were able to get it made.
How long did it take you? 2010, 2009?
It took us about 5 years to get the show made. Wow. From the time that,
I think it's one of the first majority all Asian lead cast in a period piece, focusing on Chinese Americans.
Yes,
because nobody want to hear our story, and then when they hear that, they got so fascinated. Oh my God, that is fascinating. We have very deep culture. Very deep culture.
Deep. I mean, going back centuries and centuries.
A lot of people are trying to the Zen, the whatever is Confucianism, all of the culture we grew up with. Yes, he when you were young, did you learn a lot about like 45经, like the Confucianism, the Taoism?
Not a little bit. I mean, my father was very into it.
Yeah, he actually made it international because of he embodies the Chinese culture and he's so proud of it, and he made it. It's Bruce Lee, it's Muhammad Ali, that they transcend culture, race, and boundaries in every way. Totally. You don't think Bruce Lee as a Chinese man. He is Bruce Lee. Right. He happened to be Chinese.
Right. Yeah, it's true. It's really true. And it's funny because I'll say to somebody, like name the character, the name of the character that he played in any of his movies. And the only name that comes to mind is Bruce Lee.
It's all him.
It's all him.
That's authentic energy he has.
I mean, my father was extremely self-educated. He loved to read. And actually, I sent his book collection up to the Wing Luke Museum in Seattle a couple of years ago. It's over 2,800 books.
Wow.
And books on Taoism, and books on Confucianism and Zen,
Mm-hmm.
but also books by Alan Watts and Krishnamurti.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, books on all kinds of combat and martial arts and training and acting and photography and poetry.
Oh, I love poetry too.
Yeah. He loved poetry. He wrote poetry.
That's amazing. I wrote poetry since I was a little girl, and so now I'm a comedian. Writing is just like my best friend. I'm so I'm so good at expressing my feelings with my pen. So it's so easy for me to write, even though it's my second language in English. But I just enjoy it. It's just the only one tool I had. It's my books and my writing and my poetry. So playing with words, it just excites me.
Oh, that's awesome! I love it.
Thank
I
you.
love to write also.
Amazing.
Yeah.